Good morning and welcome to Veterans Heartbeat on the Pulse of the Veteran, where we discuss issues of health, happiness, opportunity, and well-being of interest to the veteran community, their families, and the community who honors them.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Veterans Heartbeat, brought to you by River, the Rural Institute for Veterans Education and Research. My name is Jason Zencraft. My co-host Ed Lasofsky is here with me, and he is the Executive Director of River. We welcome you to a weekly wide-ranging discussion of issues, events, opportunities, and needs in our veteran community. Morning, Ed. How are you doing?
Morning, Jason.
We'd also like to thank our other sponsor, The Man Shop. It's a great place for a guy to get a haircut. If you need a haircut, swing on by and check them out. The gals there do a great job. We're also sponsored by River, the Rural Institute for Veterans Education and Research, who offer many services to veterans, such as a weekly free vestibular testing clinic and educational programs that focus on veterans helping veterans. Here with us is Dan Colson. Daniel is one of the students at River. He's also a realtor at Keller Williams, Western Montana. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
This morning we're going to talk a little bit about the recreational therapy program. We're also going to talk about another important spring event, and that is buying a new house.
My favorite.
Veterans have the...
Well, I can speak a little bit about it. What you're talking about, the different loan options, the different things that are out there for veterans specifically to buy a house. I'm sure most people know about the VA loan and that kind of stuff. But as we enter into this buying season, especially, sometimes you're not really aware of all the things that are out there. For instance, there's a few new loan programs that could even be better in your situation. Like, for example, there's the new CDC Home Now gift, which is pretty nice. You can pay 3% up to 5% of the house total. It help you out with down payment and closing costs. So there's some great opportunities out there. The best thing to do, though, Ed, is, like I always say, find that expert that you trust and ask them, and go to them, and they won't lead you in the wrong direction.
Well, the real estate market in Missoula is pretty hot.
It is, oh yeah.
What's the average house cost here in Missoula?
Right now, it's anywhere between $250 and $268, right around there. But I've seen about $268 was the last time I checked, right around there.
Now, a lot of veterans say, "Well, my credit's crappy, so therefore."
You know what I found? It's really interesting. A lot of people go into the home buying process, and that's the first thing they tell me. My credit is crappy. I don't think I can qualify for a house. And it never ceases to amaze me how many times when they actually go in and they talk to that professional, when they actually walk into that bank and talk to them about their financial situation, they're actually in a better situation than they think. A lot of people are just kind of come into this thinking that they're in a bad situation when they're really not. I mean, the loans that are out there and the banks that are out there, they're opening up. They're ready to loan. I mean, things are good, so they're wanting to loan to people. And like I say again, rely on the professional. Go in there and ask. All you got to do is ask the question, can I get pre-qualified? Worst they can tell you is no. The worst they can tell you no, and if they tell you no, they want you as a client. Guess what they're going to do next?
They're going to do some credit qualifying.
Yes, they're going to tell you and teach you. There's so many loan officers out there that will not just say, well, you can't do it right now, but come back in 6 months, do these things, and it'll change the story. It'll change the tune of what we're doing. So, no, you just can't go wrong going in and asking the questions.
Well, I'm one of those that felt like I couldn't buy a house. In 2010, I got in an auto accident, and the guy had $25,000 worth of insurance, wow. And my medical bills were $150-some thousand.
Wow.
And it took me several years to pay him off, and I just didn't borrow. I didn't do anything but just chunk on him. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think my credit was good enough to be able to buy a home.
Right.
And went out. I've been renting from a really nice lady, but I've got 5 dogs. And so finding a place to rent has been, but she retired from the university with this buyout program or process they got going, and now I'm out of a house, so I applied. And lo and behold, I could buy up to a $400,000 house, which scares the hell out of me.
Nice. That's awesome. Nice. Well, I got the perfect $400,000 house for you.
I don't
Actually, we'll push it to about $410,000, $415,000, see if we can squeeze it out.
It's interesting going through the house process. It's a lot of scare. Mm-hmm. And what really amazed me was actually a $400,000 house was only about another $150 more per month than I'm paying in rent right now.
Oh yeah, that's what surprises a lot of people. They're in this rental situation, and they believe that there's no way they could afford a mortgage, or and then they go into this and they're like, "Wow, I just barely pay a little bit more, or I might be in a situation where we pay a little bit less." I mean, I'm in the same position you are. I got 2 dogs. 2 dogs was hard enough to find a house in Missoula that would rent to me. So I don't know about 5 dogs. They laughed at me with 2 dogs, and you had to pay quite a bit. I mean, I had to almost make a down payment on a house just to afford the application fees, the first month's rent, second month or last month's rent, and all the deposits. I mean, it almost came out to a down payment on a house. But the other reason I find a lot of people are actually scared to buy a home is they don't. How did I say it? They think that it's going to tie them down. They think that renting is this freedom that they have, and they don't quite understand that when you buy a home, that's the freedom right there. Because yes, you are taking on a little bit extra risk, but the equity that pays off when you go to sell it, the things you can do to make it your house, there's so much more that can go into when you own a house that you can do, that you feel with that renting just doesn't come with renting.
Yeah, the freedom of painting the walls whatever color.
Painting the walls whatever color you want. that alone, awesome. And you think that, it's going to be too much work, but it's good work. It's the kind of work that is going to pay off in the future. It's not doing it for someone else. It's not doing it for something else. You're going to choose a color. You're going to paint things. You're going to upgrade your home to where it's going to pay more when you go to sell it.
Well, certain things, but
certain things. Don't destroy your garage to extend your living room. There's certain things you might want to consult your real estate agent on before you do some major stuff. But that's what I like to say is the relationship with the realtor doesn't end when the house is done. I mean, man, I love it when my clients call me up and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing a major renovation. Can you come look at it and tell me what you think?" Because if it's not your forever home, if you're thinking about you could possibly sell it here in the future after that renovation, you want to make sure it's not something that's going to only appeal to certain buyers, that it's something that you can still get your money out of. So the relationship continues.
So let's talk about the process.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of did something. I mean, I got forced into it with my rental situation because I really like where I'm at. I'm right on the river, and
yes, I saw your house. Yep, they call it Easy Street, right?
I'm living on Easy
Street,
and I have an easy landlord that has made it easy. I just write her a check, and she leaves me alone, and I leave her alone. It's been wonderful. She's been one of the best landlords probably in Missoula.
Nice.
But now, and I don't blame her. I mean, I like living there, so I can't blame her for wanting to live there.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I did something a little bit different. I called Veterans United, or I saw one of those, and I'm like, I've been doing the Credit Karma, looking at my credit scores.
Good. It's important to track.
And I looked at my credit scores, and they were all real low, and I was like, I'll never be able to afford to buy a house. Well, what surprised me was Credit Karma said one thing. I called the mortgage lending company, and my high score was 720, and my low score was 658.
Not bad.
And Credit Karma had one of them in the 500s and one of them in the 620 range.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't always believe what you're getting from the internet sources. Would you agree?
Yeah, and that's very true. Like I say, and I'll continue to preach it every time when I see somebody, go to the expert. Go talk to them. The people get scared walking into a bank, or they get scared calling a real estate agent because they think we're going to lock them into something. They're going to end up paying way more than they want to, and they have this idea that something bad's going to happen. But we're here to guide you through the process, and maybe if you're not ready to make that decision, at least you know for sure now what's going to happen, and that's important. You got to talk to the professional. Let them tell you what's going on.
Well, another issue comes into the credit, and let's just talk about that a little bit. What about having these mortgage companies pull your credit? Does that actually lower your score?
Right, and that's actually something that I hear from a lot from people. But I've actually talked to bankers personally, and it does not affect your credit score the way you think it does, because it's very important to shop around. I can't stress that enough. Often people will go to one lender and they'll think that's it. That's the interest rate I got because all interest rates are the same. Well, they're not quite. They may differ a little bit, maybe not much, but they do differ. So it's always important to shop around, just like going and getting the best price for some material goods or something you're bringing into your house, the right price for a gun or a trampoline that you're buying for your kids or something. They do differ. But it's not going to hurt your credit score having it checked a few times. I mean, we're not talking have it checked 10 or more times. We're talking at least, go compare 3 different lenders. Go have it checked 3 times. And if it's all in that same time frame, a week, 2-week time frame, and it's all for the same thing, it's not going to affect your credit score the way some people think. They understand that, hey, you're shopping around, and I had it pulled maybe 3 or 4 times, all in this 2-week session for the same purchase. I'm shopping around. It doesn't affect as much as you think it does.
Well, Jason and I are buying some property for the Rural Institute.
Nice.
And Jason, you want to talk a little bit about the paperwork that hit you? I mean, it was like a stack 4 feet deep.
Oh, God. I don't even want to think about it. So, looking at the paperwork. And then keep in mind, this is buying as well as getting land donated. And there's a fantastic guy in town. I don't know if I'll speak about his name, but he's a Marine, and he's donating some land to our foundation so we can do recreational therapy up on the property, and he's donating 30 acres near a private lake. And just the paperwork for that alone is about 4 or 5 inches thick. So it's a lot. But yeah, don't be afraid of the paperwork either. Like Dan said, if you have a professional, they're going to make it as easy as possible for you. People are kind of naturally skeptical about stuff they don't understand, whether it's going to a mechanic. But you find one you trust, then you just trust them, and they're not going to steer you wrong. You go to a good realtor, as long as you trust them, you like them, they're not going to steer you wrong, because you win, they win. And there's some situations you got to avoid, but for the most part, like Dan said, shop around, find a realtor you like, and start shopping, looking at homes. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of stressful, but it's a lot of fun to go into a house and go, wow, what would it be like to wake up here, and what could I do? Well, I could just knock down this wall. Why not? Let's make this kitchen big. So
until you take that first swing with the hammer,
yeah,
this is a little rough.
Yeah, well,
let's hire a professional.
Then you got to worry about an unhappy wife, and you have an unhappy life.
That's right. But yeah, it's a great process. A lot of people avoid. As I said earlier, you'll be surprised. When I got my house, we got just a little dinky house, about $160,000, and the mortgage is less than rent was. So I mean, it's a win-win. You might as well go out there. Don't let fear hold you back.
Oh, can I just say something about the stack of paperwork? I thought that's funny. You go into the title company, you're signing the stack of paperwork. That it's thick, but it's funny. About half of it is, I promise to pay back this loan. Yes, I promise. I swear to pay back this loan. I promise on the Bible to pay back this loan. It's all a lot of the same things you're signing. But your hand gets a little tired at the end of it. But it's too easy, and it's all about building the team. You have the right realtor, you have the right loan officer, and you got the right title company. They'll walk you through the whole situation. Right? You gotta have the team. The team can make you successful.
Jason, I know you went through a remodel on your house. First you bought the house, and now you've got the house, and now you're going through a remodel. It's kind of interesting to hear a realtor say you should converse with somebody that can make sure that you're doing it right. What do you think of that comment from Dan?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a unique relationship. I still keep in contact with my realtor, and that's the thing. They're not there to screw you over. They're there to help you because, one, they help you. It's a win-win for you. It's a win for you and them. But also, if they treat you really well, you're going to refer your friends and family to them.
Exactly.
So it spreads that way. So, I mean, some people have this idea, everyone's out to get me, or I can't trust this realtor or whatever. It's really not like that at all. If you think about it rationally, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, to answer your question before, when we bought our house, we didn't even really think about remodeling. And then my girlfriend's brother, he's a contractor in town. He was like, "Yeah, just knock this wall down." I was like, "Whoa, what do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, just grab a sledgehammer, let's knock this wall down, open up this whole area." And I was like, "Oh, crap, we can do that. Let's do it." And that's the great part about owning a house. You don't gotta consult anyone to do anything, as long as it's up to code. Obviously, you can go paint a wall. You can tear down a wall, and just make sure everything's up to code. And yeah, it's great. If you haven't thought about it, maybe you should start.
All right, let's talk about the interest rates that are going on right now. They were very low.
Yeah,
for a long
very
time.
low. Oh, yeah.
My mom was a realtor for 25 years. And I remember way back 70s or 80s or whatever.
Yep.
And the interest rates were almost 25%.
Yeah, those are the stories that I'm told by the older real estate agents too. People are still buying houses at 20% interest rates, even 12%. I mean, I look back at the first time I bought my house. I bought my house right when I got out of officer basic course, and I was at my first duty station. About age of 24, and I was paying 6.5% interest rate. I mean, that was bad, and I didn't bat an eye at that. And, some people are saying, interest rates are going to climb up, it's going to be awful, but, you're still in a great market. It's fantastic how it is today. And even in Missoula, it's an awesome market. I mean, you got the buyers, you got people coming up, you got sellers, you got building going on, you got interest rates that are still low. It's a wonderful time right now. It's just really great. And you got to just take that first step by trusting that professional and coming in. But, yeah, you're absolutely right,
Now, a lot of people try to do it on their own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a daunting experience, to say the least.
Yep.
As a notary, I've notarized a couple of mortgages and whatnot. And like Jason was saying, 4 to 5 inches of paperwork is – and you're sitting there with your stamp going, ooh.
Yep.
And I've had people that want to read all that paperwork before signing it.
Yep.
Have you ran into that situation where some notaries are trying to just get them through?
Yeah, and I mean it's up to that person. If someone wants to read through all that paperwork, you let them do it. It's there for their understanding, and it's there to make them feel comfortable. So if they got to do it, they got to do it. I mean, there are those folks out there. There's a lot of it, so you'll be there for a minute, but it comes back into the I believe the trusting relationship. I mean, the professional knows the forms. They know that there's some things written in that form that you can't change. You can't fill in the blank because it's the way the state or the government wants it. It has to be written that way. But then there's other things that you can change in there. There are the things that you write in, and it's important to check over those. And, if you got to be a little bit more meticulous, that's fine. I'm going to be there for that person. But the number one thing, I want to be there for your trust. So eventually you might read through it very carefully the first time, but then after that, you're going to get my trust. It's going to say exactly what I said it said, and then after that, we're going to be able to move faster. But
was there any forms that you went through, Jason, that surprised you when you were looking at the property?
No, not really. It's just kind of crossing the T's, dotting the I's. It's, like Dan said, there's state regulations, there's this, that, and the other thing. And as long as you trust the team that put it together, they're not going to steer you wrong. Because if they do, then you're going to tell 10 people, they're going to tell 10 people, and that's just kind of how it works in a town the size of Missoula. So as long as you have a good team, that paperwork isn't going to be an issue at all. That shouldn't be even really on the thought process when you're buying the home. Like, oh no, I have to read and trust people, but it's a valid concern, or maybe I shouldn't say valid, but it's a common concern that people have, but it really shouldn't hold you back.
So another issue that a lot of people don't understand is where to get started.
Where to get started. That's it. All starts, right? What I would highly recommend is you're going to either start one of two places. I can't steer you in what direction to start with, but you're going to start with one of two places: a real estate agent or your loan officer. That's where you're going to want to start. And most people, what they'll probably start with is the loan officer at their bank. It's a bank they trust. They've been going there for a while. So maybe the first step would just be to go into the bank that knows you and says, hey, I'd like to speak to a loan officer.
Now, there are different requirements at different banks and different mortgage companies. So if you get turned down once, you still could get.
Yeah. I mean, try it one or two more times. I mean, you don't want to you get told no once. I mean, I don't know how many times I've been told no on different loans and things throughout my life. If one person tells you no, that doesn't mean it's the end of the story. It means maybe, I mean, with all the different loan programs out there, some banks can only offer 3 of them. Some banks offer a couple of them. Some banks offer more of them. But there's so many out there that sometimes you might have to go to a mortgage company. You might have to say, well, the bank offered this, but I'm going to go check out a mortgage company. We got some good ones in town. And you go into there, and they might have a product that your bank didn't have. Well, if you just took the no and you just said, oh, I'll never do this, you didn't go in there and say, well, what do you offer? You're not going to be locked into anything. You're just saying, what do you offer? I want to see what you can get me.
Now, the other thing is make sure that if you're using a mortgage company, just because they say veteran doesn't mean that they're veteran friendly. It means they could be a
there's a lot of things out there. They're saying that they'll tag the keywords of family, veterans. There's people out there that might take advantage. The main thing is just that you got to do your homework. And I mean, like the first thing I say is start with somebody you trust. Ask your family member, hey, when you went to buy your house, what real estate agent did you use? Were they awesome? Were they good? Did you like them? What mortgage company did you use? Ask some people around there. I mean, you can do a little bit of research. It can be done in about a week. Know what direction you want to go to. Go to a real estate agent and say, hey, what loan officer do you recommend here in town? When you're in, or if you started with a loan officer, hey, what real estate agent do you recommend in town? Ask people, because that's the number one thing we work off is referrals. If we're good at our job and we're treating people right and offering good customer service, we will get referred, and that's what we rely on.
Well, the other thing that we've got going is how do you find a good realtor?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are some crappy ones out there.
And it's going to go into, you're not stuck with the first one you talk to. I mean, talk to a couple, interview a few, make them earn your business a little bit. Maybe just ask them a little bit about themselves. I mean, you might be a veteran that prefers to have a veteran real estate agent that helps you out, someone that's been in the Army, understands where you came from. Or you may have a real estate agent that enjoys some of the same things you enjoy, that you click well with, or someone that's a part of your family or something. That's just where you're going to begin, is you're going to begin by asking the questions. And that's interviewing the realtor. Don't be afraid that if a realtor comes over, you're stuck with them. Interview a few. See if you click well with them. And when you do find the right one, go with them. I mean, you get a good sense of somebody. When you walk into a room and you're talking to somebody, I mean, you got a good meter of if they're telling you the truth, asking them questions. Find that right one and then start that relationship with them.
Tell us a little bit about first-time home buying classes, but also opportunities, because when we bought our house, we were first-time home buyers, so there were a lot of programs out there, and I mean, so many of them. I was like, I don't even know which way we should go. I mean, we took a class, I believe it was Homeward, yep. And just by taking that class, it opened up some certain things that only the people who took that class were available to take advantage of. You want to talk a little bit about any classes and then any programs to help with first-time home buyers?
That is a really good one. Homeward is a really good one. And then and if you do that one, you get certain things when you go in to get the actual loan. You may get lowered points or lowered interest rates or something like that. You may get a credit towards your closing costs and things like that. But there's a lot of them, a lot of different ones out there. Homeward is the one I'm most familiar with. There's a few out there that I'm not quite as familiar with. But the main thing is your loan officer will know them. Your mortgage company will know them. And that loan officer, when you go in and talk to them, if they know that particular class will get you some lower points or help you out a bit, they're going to recommend that to you. But I'd encourage you, if you don't know about Homeward, look into that. Great class, great people over there, and it'd be a great class for first-time home buyers.
So, Dan, you're part of the RT program. You brought some toys in. Do you want to explain?
Oh yeah. I just these came in right. We went and picked them up. They're we got a couple paintball guns in here. This program, we got we got tons of stuff down in the locker room right now, huh?
Jason, you want to address the RT's rental program that we're starting up?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have essentially a storage locker. It's a basement room, and we have everything from kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, paintball guns, little U-rafts for fishing, fishing poles, spin casters, fly rods, camping equipment, 30 by 15 wall tents, and we have a lot of stuff down there, and we're using it for our recreational therapy class. So any of our students are more than welcome to rent it and take it out for free. They just need to check it in and out. And then we're opening it up to the public as well. Any veterans organization that wants to rent any of the stuff, we'll give them a really good discount. We'll give them half off because we want other organizations in the area that do similar stuff to what our class teaches. We want them to be able to have the supplies that they need. If they want to go out and have a paintballing event, they realize, we don't have enough funding. Well, that shouldn't hold them back. We want to make sure that they have the equipment and they can bring this recreational therapy to veterans in the area. So if you are interested, swing on by River, give us a call at either 406-540-2302 or 406-273-8426, and we'll try to take care of you the best we can.
Yeah, these are some nice paintball guns. You're going to want to check these out. And we also just picked up, 100 pounds of CO2 that me and Ed had to haul into that truck and haul back into the office. So, yeah, you got paintballs, paintball guns. You got the mask, everything ready to load you out, and you can go shoot each other up.
Time for a death match between Jason and I.
There it is. All right. Well, this was a fun show. Thank you very much, Dan, for coming on. We really appreciate you coming here.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, Dan, if anyone wants to get a hold of you and take advantage of your knowledge, how do they reach you?
I can be reached either by my cell number or email. My cell number is 406-581-7894, or you can email me at Dan Colson. Colson is Colson. That's Dan Colson at KW.com.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Dan, for coming on. We appreciate it. And with that, we'll shut her down. So thank you very much for listening to Veterans Heartbeat. We'd not be able to bring this to you without all the support of the listeners. Thank you again to the Man Shop for sponsoring the show. If you are in need of a great haircut, swing by and get a snip. Also, thank you to our main sponsor, River, the Rural Institute for Veterans Education and Research. They have an array of services such as veterans-focused education and a free vestibular disorder clinic. Check them out on Facebook or on the web at riverofchange.org. Lastly, we would like to show our appreciation to all of our veterans. Thank you for serving our country and keeping us safe.